It's in prime time, under the bright lights for you on the sidelines. The fans in the stands keeping doubly bright high. The gridiron fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, the miles, the moves, the Keflies, old spaghetti legs. Ricky Ray, Willie Bless, and whoever comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E is a legacy. Double E over everything. Double E, we rising up.
For the 36th straight season, the Double E and the Stampeders meet in Edmonton in the Labor Day rematch at Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks will hope their home crowd will help ignite their offense to finding the end zone, something they didn't do last week. While the defense hopes the home noise will be the 13th man for a unit that is hurting with lost bodies. Calgary looks for their 13th Labor Day sweep. The Elks hope to keep their playoff hopes alive. Elks Stamps. It's the Labor Day rematch at Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. But first, this is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Thank you to everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams. For those watching on YouTube as well, you could jump into the nasty chat. You could text us 780-218-9999. My name is Matt Iwanyk. He is Jay Milne. We've got some special guests in the building too today that we will bring on a little bit later. It's like I feel like we're college game day. Celebrity guest pickers coming in.
Yes. It's Bring Your Kids to Work Day at here at EST. And Matt has assured me that if he had children, he would have brought them in today. But not yet.
Nope.
Not yet. Hopefully, one day. You know,
it's like how you're just going right there.
Well, why not? I mean, we don't mince words here. It's the best thing that'll ever happen to you, buddy.
They're very kind. Your three daughters.
Yeah.
They brought me treats.
Yes,
they
did.
stopped to get me arrows.
They said we have to stop and get Matt a treat. So I said, you guys pick. It's up to you. Whatever you want to get him. They got him Arrow Minis, which actually was somewhat sentimental to you.
My grandfather always loved arrows.
And
loved arrows. They were the best.
Wow.
They crushed it. They nailed it.
They did very well.
We have our celebrity guest pickers coming in a little bit later. It'll be a lot of fun.
They also got their own bags of candies, of which one is completely gone.
Which one did they finish?
The Score Bites. They're gone.
Oh, yeah.
They're gone. I think the Crunchy Bar's gone. So, you know.
Well, they've got the next hour to do whatever they want in this building because you and I are busy in here and you won't know what's going on.
Yeah, I just said, I don't care what you do. Just don't come in the studio.
They're in my office.
They're
watching
good. They're
movies
set up.
right now.
Maddie set the mood in the office. They got a movie on. They're living the life.
One of them gets the couch.
Yeah.
I turn the TV.
Fantastic. Well done.
It's going to be a great time in there. But it's going to be a great time in here. We're going to get set for a football game that's coming up down at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium between the Edmonton Elks and the Calgary Stampeders. Let's take a look at the starting offense for your Edmonton Elks. For those watching on YouTube, you will see the depth chart. Cody Fajardo behind center once again. The men protecting him from left to right. Ivy, Cordy, Beard, McKellar, and Boyko. Victor Hilaire, Julian Grant Smith, and Gittins Jr. are the receivers. Rankin and Green running back, fullback. On the D-line, Barlow, Brinkman, Johnson, and Taylor, the middle linebacker. Mogensen in between DeBlanco and Garnes, and then Meche is the safety with the men on either side of him. Ross, Jackson, Williams, Ford, Blanchard kicks, Julian punts, and Leak is the kick returner and punt returner. With that, let's get to the Advantage Sports Medicine injury report. Mr. Milne.
Well, Connor McDavid has got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sports Medicine. Call 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca. Now, this is a big story. This might be the biggest story, is the Elks injuries. Cerezda, Niles Morgan added to the 6-game injured list. Nick Anderson with the abdominal injury is close, but he's still out. He's not listed on the depth chart. Brinkman and Curly Gittins, positive news. They were both listed as questionable throughout the week. Both are in the lineup. So, I mean, this defense is riddled with injury. So we'll see how that pans out. We'll see what kind of impact that has on this game. But I mean, Johnson, Mogensen, they're both professional football players. They should be able to come in and fill these voids. We'll see what happens though. That D-line, that D-line has got to get to Vernon Adams Jr. today if this team has any chance of belonging and keeping this game tight.
When it comes to Stampeders to watch in today's game, and again, for those on YouTube, you'll see the Stampeders depth chart. VA is obviously the starting quarterback. Dedrick Mills is one of the top running backs in the Canadian Football League, and a solid receiving core. But Jalen Philpott has really been, he had a quiet Labor Day, but his, last 5 games or so, he's really stepped up for the Calgary Stampeders. Alfred, since he's come back for injury, he hasn't done too much, but we'll see if he takes a step up. And defensively, this is the best defensive unit in the Canadian Football League. Moncrief in that Sam linebacker spot. You got Webb in the safety spot. They are a very, very good unit. When you look at the weather for tonight's game, beautiful day today, 26 degrees by kickoff. By the time this game ends, it should be about 23 degrees. It's that fallish time now, so it starts plummeting a little bit more as that sun goes. But it shouldn't be too much by the time this game ends. To come here on the Green and Gold Kickoff show, we will hear from Cody Fajardo, the starting quarterback of the Edmonton Elks. We'll get to play Alberta Game Day odds check, 3 stories of the game, keys and predictions. But let's get to our question of the game, which you could jump in the nasty chat answering. You could jump into the inbox at 780-218-9999 to answer. But I will pose this question to Mr. Jay Milne first. Which injury hurts the doubly more heading into tonight's game? Is it Jake Ceresna or is it Niles Morgan?
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is on Twitter. This is on a poll.
I threw it up on a poll. It's a little behind. I threw it up a little late, so not a chance to get as many votes as we would usually. But we've got some votes for that one, and we'll see where the nasty chat goes with this as well as the inbox.
I'm gonna say Niles Morgan, just because Jake Ceresna has been there all year, as has Niles Morgan. I think Niles Morgan has been much more effective for this team. Jake Ceresna just hasn't been getting it done enough. So if you're asking who's going to fill in and have the biggest burden or the biggest job and the biggest shoes to fill, well, that would be filling in for Niles Morgan. So I'm going to go with Niles Morgan.
The case I would make for Jake Ceresna is the injuries that have already occurred, and we'll get to that on the defensive line, and losing another one hurts.
Yeah.
The other part, he may not be as advertised this season. He hasn't been a top defensive lineman in the Canadian Football League this year, like one of the top. He's been the best defensive lineman for the Edmonton Elks.
And he's been nicked up. He's been probably battling this injury all season. We've seen him leave games. We saw him miss a game earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. So how effective, how healthy has Jake Ceresna been to begin with? So now if you're asking, 54 to come in, that's Tyreek Johnson at the defensive tackle position. What if he surprises? What if 100% version of Tyreek Johnson is better than a 75% version of Jake Ceresna? That's partially to do with why, look, I think Brock Mogensen at middle linebacker has got a big job today.
Does he ever?
Rookie with this team.
That's the tough, but that's sometimes with the Canadian Football League. It's that rookie that comes out of nowhere and you're like, oh, this guy is all of a sudden a guy that's going to be in the league for 12 years.
Adam Bighill started as a rookie. Larry Ruck once was a rookie and probably came in an injury situation.
And a lot come in. And I would go Darrell Walker first came in because Darius Bowman got a late scratch out of Montreal. He got activated from the practice roster. He was a starter after that. Like, it just, that's what the Canadian Football League does, is we don't know all these guys. And all of a sudden, all it takes is that one game. Ricky Ray came in injury.
The list can go on and on and on of people that have come in and stepped up. That's why the saying, that next up mentality is so important, especially on bigger teams and in a bigger team sport such as football.
So that's the question of the game. Would you care to guess what the votes are?
I would say it's going to be close. It's probably one of the closer ones. It might even lean to Jake Ceresna.
It does not lean to Jake Ceresna.
Okay. Is it heavy Niles Morgan?
I don't know if I'd say heavy.
What are we looking at?
57.9 to 42.1.
Yeah, okay, so that's closer.
Yeah.
Because they're both impactful players on this defense. I just think at Niles Morgan at the middle linebacker position, you're not only responsible for a lot, you're responsible for the run game and the pass game, but you're also somewhat the quarterback of that defense and that defensive front. So big shoes to fill.
We need to get to the Play Alberta game day. Odds check for Play Alberta. Download their app today. Visit them, playalberta.ca, YEG50 and ESD Sports. Both of those promo codes for the month of September. Deposit 50, get a free $50 sports bet. I fell short on one of my $50, but I hit the other one on Thursday Night Football. So
Did you?
I did.
I'm thinking of doing this. I haven't taken advantage of this month's promo codes.
You haven't yet?
I'm thinking of doing it and putting it all on an Elks money line win.
Well, I wouldn't do that necessarily this week.
Well, why not? Big odds.
There's Toronto and there's Hamilton coming up this month.
Yeah, but Edmonton needs to win this game.
They absolutely do.
And I have yet to give up on this team. I've yet to say that they can't answer the call. My biggest concern is that Calgary sucked last week. If you look at offensively, Calgary, they had the fewest passing yards of their year, fewest completions, lowest completions percentage, and the worst time of possession. If they awaken and play like they can, now, obviously, I have to give credit to the Double E's defense. Okay? They had a say in that. But if Calgary plays, I don't know, marginally better, 30% better, this game is a lot different. And to Edmonton's credit, they didn't have a great offensive game either. So lots to be told here. I might just do that, Matt.
Well, improved odds for all major North American leagues this year, including the National Football League, which really gets going tomorrow. We had 2 games.
I don't want to talk about NFL right now.
What's wrong, Jay?
Well,
is it the Worthy?
Yes. Yesterday, my play of the day was Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown. Xavier Worthy was also a keeper on my fantasy team.
He's a keeper on a fantasy. That's where the main
I
one
don't
came
even
from.
get out of the parking lot, and I'm seeing tweets and people messaging saying, uh-oh, I turn on NFL radio, Xavier Worthy out of the game. First drive. Golly.
It's like when Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets 2 years ago.
Well,
He was out in that first quarter.
yeah, probably a little different because I think this is just some sort of a collarbone injury, so he will be back. It's just, golly, what a kick in the you-know-what to start.
But again, you really gets going tomorrow. You can get a bunch of betting going.
Sure.
At Play Alberta.
Sure.
I know you're hurting.
I'm hurting.
The Calgary Stampeders -7. The Elks 7-point underdogs going into this football game. I'm actually surprised that didn't go much further the other way. It varied all week at about -6.5 to -7.5. I'm just surprised that it didn't go a little bit the other way. Over under is 48.5. The Jay and Matt's big play of the game.
I like this.
Big play, not so much. It's not a big one.
That's okay.
But you want to know something? We're just looking for. There's a lot of skepticism around the Elks going into this one. It's in particular about the injuries, and we'll get to all of that. But we went with just something that I think is very achievable. And because of the boost of Play Alberta, we almost got it to even money, which is great. So we got the Edmonton Elks plus 15.5 points. The Elks lost last week by 21. Okay. They're going to be better this week. They're going to score more points this week. We also have the over-under at 43. Last week was a 28-7 ball game. We need 10 more points, and we've hit the over by 2. That's all we're asking
That's
for
all
from
we
last
need.
week. Like, it's not a ridiculous play in terms of can it be achieved. Can the Elks keep it within 2 touchdowns or win this football game?
Yep.
And could this game have more than 43 points? That is at -111. If you put $10 down, you win $9. You get your
Huge.
10 back, you win $9. We almost got that to full even money. -111. That is JMET's big play of the game. You're only going to get that on Play Alberta. Just click on EST specials. You go to another site, you get those up, it's going to be like -140. We're getting it to you to -111.
Well, that's the thing.
Boom.
If you're playing, you might as well play with Play Alberta because we don't make, sometimes you have a little bit of a reacher, but we make plays. We make serious plays. And the odds that you'll find at Play Alberta, once we boost those odds, are the best you'll find anywhere in North America. So if you haven't yet, if you haven't heard, go to Play Alberta or download the new app. By the way, the new app,
New and improved.
a lot of people were thinking Play Alberta in terms of the old app, which we all experienced, wasn't as good. This one is streamlined. It's really easy to use. So go check it out.
By the way, I've got like a ridiculous 10 leg parlay or something for tomorrow's NFL. $2.50 down
Those are fun.
to win me like hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Those are fun.
We'll see what happens. Let's get to our 3 stories of the game as the Elks getting set to take on the Stampeders down at Commonwealth Stadium, which is play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. Look at that.
Look at that.
They partner with the Elks. They partner with us. Also, by the way, we're just keeping tabs a little bit on this football game over here. Bombers 13-12 into the fourth quarter. Wild game yesterday between Ottawa and BC. And Montreal, they're in trouble if they don't get Davis Alexander back. They may have really done a bad thing by bringing him back so early, and then he got hurt again. Let's get to our first story of this game. Injuries. We've already talked about it. Football, like no other sport. It's something that happens in other sports, but I don't think this term means more than it does in football. Gridiron football. Next man up. And in the Canadian Football League. And this isn't like offensively, really Stephen Dunbar Jr. and Zach Mathis. That's it. That's all that's missing from an injury perspective. They are a healthy unit offensively. When we're talking about injuries, this is the defensive side of the ball. And now you have no Serezna. You have no Niles Morgan. You still don't have Nick Anderson, who comes off the 6th game after today.
Yep.
You don't have Robbie Smith, who's been placed on the 6th game.
Who's, by the way, the highest paid player outside of a quarterback in the CFL.
Or wide receiver, I believe.
Highest paid defensive player.
He's easily
by a mile.
Jared Brinkman, now he's not listed as a game time decision. He was limited this week. He was a game time decision last week. And I'm just going to bring this back to Noah Curtis hasn't been with this team all year. At the start of the season, if we sat down and went, okay, this is the lineup for this Elks team at the start of the season, and I'm going to take the Sam linebacker position away because that was just very fluid. But of the 7 players, 5 of them aren't in the lineup tonight.
Yep.
5 of your front 7 from the start of this season aren't there. And actually, because of there's been a change at the Sam linebacker spot, you could argue 6 of 7 aren't there. And that just right off the bat makes things very difficult for this Elks team as you're going up against a very good Calgary Stampeders offense. I don't want to make it start off this game with an excuse for the Edmonton Elks should they lose. But should they lose today, there's a good reason for we could say, well, look, I'll go so. I remember watching this team or saying about this team going into the season, if they have any injuries, I don't know if they have the depth to handle the injuries. Well, now that depth is going to be tested. But any team that's going to lose that many players of your front 7 on defense, it's going to be a challenge as you go into that football game.
Here's the thing, though. This defense ranks worst or near the worst in the CFL in most categories.
And that's partly because their first 6 games were atrocious that they put themselves so far behind.
Next man up might actually be the best thing to happen to this team. I'm serious. Jake Serezna has underperformed.
Yep.
Robbie Smith grossly underperformed.
Absolutely.
Nick Anderson and Niles Morgan, I think they've been doing the best they can. But if Joel DeBlanco's filled in at the weak side linebacker position and looked pretty darn good.
I do worry though that you have a rookie at the middle linebacker spot and a second-year player next to him.
Yeah, but it depends on the mentality of number 43, Mogensen. Is he going to step up? Because I'll tell you this, he is way more mobile as a player than Niles Morgan is. Left to right, he's a faster, quicker version at middle linebacker. So maybe that's what you like to see against somebody that's going to try and run the ball down your throat.
From the University of South Dakota. Full-on rookie going into this one. But that's just, and you're going up against an offense for them where, look, VA statistically isn't the best quarterback in the Canadian Football League. If you look at passing yards, you look at touchdowns, interceptions, and all that, statistically, VA is not near the top. Like last week, what did he pull off when it came to last week's game?
Well, it's 56% passing completion.
Well, he was 162, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Like not a wow factor.
But
he gets it done.
They get it done.
He goes and gets it done. He has a great running back in Dedrick Mills. And that's the other part of this, too, is that you have to, as this young unit now that's coming in, without your key vets, you have to worry about VA handling this offense that has a lot of receiving threats, but also worry about the guy running up the middle in Dedrick Mills. They struggled last week containing Dedrick Mills. He rushed the ball 17 times for 106 yards. And so that's like... It will be fascinating to see how Dave Dickinson and VA handle this offense going up to this defense where, how much are they going to try to target the middle linebacker in this one and go, we've got a rookie right there in such a key spot. We're going to make his night a living hell.
How many rushes did Dedrick Mills have last game?
17.
I would imagine that number's closer to 30 tonight.
And then they had Croquette as a running back, rushed the ball 3 times. So they ran with their running backs 20 times last week.
I would imagine that's about a third more. I would expect that to be closer to 30 because that is clearly the weakness right now. And you've got a new player, defensive tackle. Yeah. You've got a new player at middle linebacker. That's where you attack.
And that's where Brinkman's going to need it because Brinkman hasn't had an outstanding season either. He's been fine.
I think Brinkman's role, though, like he's a bit of a plug. He's a guy that's supposed to get in there. He has been effective at times. But nobody on defense has been as effective. Like, go across the whole defense. Secondary, linebackers, front four. None of them have been as effective as Elks fans would have hoped coming into this season.
100%.
Especially considering the amount of money that Ed Hervey put into that defense. Right? Not nearly effective enough. Now, are they going to turn it around? I don't know. I don't think so. But I'll tell you one thing I know is that J.C. Sherritt's finding out how to use them better.
He hasn't he?
Yes.
He has been a better coordinator this year than Jordan McSimic has.
Way better because he's adapted. He's changed. He said, okay, these are the horses I gotta run with. Well, then I'm going to learn and find out what situations I can put them in and what situations I can't. Earlier in the season, they were blitzing twice a drive. That has calmed way down. They're now implementing more stunts with the front four, which was... That was like you couldn't say that word in the locker room earlier in the season because it wasn't happening. So that's good for J.C. Sherritt. He's evolving. That's why I'm not so concerned because he knows what he has in these players. He knows how to put them in the best positions that he can.
For those that don't know, stunts are?
So your defensive end starts out here, crashes in against the offensive tackle, and Jared Brinkman loops around him.
So it's like a crisscrossing almost.
You're just confusing the O-lineman with motion, which wasn't done earlier in the year. We had Jed Roberts on, probably week 5, week 6, and he was just baffled. Even when you're setting up as a D-line, sometimes you'll see a guy, you see it in the movies where they do the barrel roll over into a new position. But I mean, yes. You don't have to do the barrel roll.
It's not that flashy, but
like
it happens.
Moving people around pre-snap because Mark Cordy, center for David Beard, center for the Elks, will come up and he'll say, that guy is that guy. And then, you're identifying where these players are. If you move them pre-snap, well, that changes everything for the blocking assignments. They weren't doing that. They're starting to. And I will give credit to J.C. Sherritt for that.
I think next year we got to get you the telestrator app for that.
I'd love that.
And we need to do it every so often. We could then just draw.
Oh, buddy, we wouldn't sit in there and watch. We'd sit in here and just cut clips all game.
But even for pregame, like last week, okay, this is what happened, and then with the stunts, you can be like, here's a stunt play. What we would need is where we need a little bit of a partnership with the Elks, where it's like, can we get coaches, Phil?
Ooh.
So we can isolate on
Give me an end zone cut, baby.
And then you could just be like, hey,
oh my God.
Hey guys, let me break this down for you. Because if somebody's going to be able to break it down, it'd be you.
End zone cuts are pure gold for a defensive player.
Our friend's Tube Socks is going to his first Elks game in 2 years, he said. And he's standing. I said, so where are you sitting? He says he's going back to where he always goes.
What's that, B's Bar?
He goes and stands on the north
CB's?
side. He doesn't go to CW's.
Or CW's.
He's by there, but he stands there. It's the north side, and he just watches from north-south action.
Yep.
It's a great view. Great vantage point.
Beautiful.
Great vantage point. That is the first story of this game. It is the injuries and seeing how the Edmonton Elks, most notably defensively, are going to handle this. And actually, this is now also, I'll just say this as an aside to this. We'll see how the offense deals with this. Because now this is on the offense. You're going to have to score points tonight, it seems. That's not just you need to score more points than last week. This defense might allow points. This defense might have tough times stopping VA, stopping Mills, and stopping the Calgary Stampeders from scoring points. Can you go out there and try to put up 30? You might have to.
Yeah.
So, you're going to need to get Rankin going. You need to mix him in. You're going to need to mix in Leak. And Fajardo is just going to have to be a little bit crisper on his ball, because last week was that first time we've seen him this year where he wasn't as crisp when it came to his accuracy. The second storyline of this game, ultimately from last week, one of the biggest factors of why the Edmonton Elks walked away with a loss. Mistakes. Fumble at the Calgary 18. Missed field goal at the end of the first half. And then it didn't help that there was a pass interference right before that, which allowed Calgary to kick a field goal, which then in the end, that's 2 missed field goals by Castillo, by the way. In the end, that was a 5-point swing right at the end of half. He just ran in for a safety.
Jeez, he got out. Oh my gosh.
Okay, hold up.
He got out.
I got to finish this. Mario Alford returns a missed field goal, takes it out of the end zone, pressure, runs it back, goes into the end zone. Jay thinks he got it out. If he got it out, they're at the 1.
He did get it out.
It's where the ball is, right? It's not where the player is. It's where the ball is. That's the second straight week somebody has messed up in this game and almost given up a safety. What is he doing there? Wow, that is not good. Saskatchewan's only up by 2 points. Sorry that's a sidetrack from there, but... And then a punt field goal or a punt return for a touchdown.
Yep.
The Edmonton Elks.
Think of the swings there, though, Matty. They were moving the ball when that fumble happened.
Yeah, it was 10-3 at the time. They were at the Calgary 18.
What was that? A seven play drive?
Yeah.
Leading into that, they were moving. There was no doubt in my mind they were going to score a major there.
It would have been 10-6 at half, if I'm not mistaken.
No, at that point it was 10-3.
No, that one I'm saying then the missed field goal, because that was 10-3, so that would have been 10-10. Then the missed field goal, it would have been 10-6 at half.
It could have been 13-10 for Edmonton.
But I'm just going by each, just not adding them all up.
Right.
Instead, it was 13-4 at half.
Yeah. That's a swing.
That missed the punt return for a touchdown. That's just a 7-point swing where we talked about on the post-game show last week of how we saw Calgary set that up and then take it the other way. But those are significant swings. And when you are a good football team, when you are the Calgary Stampeders this year, when the Saskatchewan Roughriders this year, when you're Winnipeg of the years past, when you make mistakes as a good football team, you can overcome them. Mm-hmm. You're good enough to overcome them. When you're a team like the Edmonton Elks who are in their evolution and their growth, you're not there yet. And when you're taking on a team like Calgary, you can't make mistakes because that team's going to pounce on them. Or at the same time, you're just making things that much more difficult for you. And once again, what we saw last week, you just can't overcome it. This Elks football team tonight has to make sure they do everything possible to avoid mistakes because they are not at a position where they're good enough to overcome those just yet against an opponent like the Calgary Stampeders. Against teams lower, like Ottawa or something, yeah, you can overcome mistakes because you're on a level playing field. The Elks aren't at the Stamps level yet. We saw it last week. If you make mistakes, it's going to hurt you because the one thing Calgary is going to do, most likely, they're not going to make the mistakes.
Yeah. And to be honest and very blunt, Edmonton's not good enough to recover from mistakes, especially glaring ones like what we saw last week. Yeah. They're not good enough right now. I'm sorry. Calgary has a way of taking advantage of those mistakes and capitalizing on them. They're leading the CFL in points off of turnovers by a bit. So take care of the ball, capitalize. They were 0 for 2 in the red zone last week. Coming into last game, they had the second highest red zone percentage in the CFL in terms of red zone appearances and touchdowns. And last week, Calgary just shut them down. So when you're in the red zone, because that's also a mistake, okay? You know what else is a mistake? Having Grahovic in as your sixth lineman.
Jay is very disappointed that he's not on the starting lineup for tonight. Very disappointed he's put on the practice roster. Jay was hoping for the redemption story.
No, I was not. And look, this is nothing against Phil Grahovic. He's a great O lineman. This scheme that Jordan Maksimic had where you're moving around a 350-pound O lineman behind the line of scrimmage, it wasn't working. It hadn't worked all year. So am I happy to see Grahovic out of the lineup? No. But does that suggest to me that that package may not be used today? Very. And Double E fans should be.
The reason he's out of the lineup is because we haven't said it, but Carter O'Donnell signed with this football team.
Yes.
Carter O'Donnell coming from the NFL, Colts, Cardinals, formerly of the University of Alberta Golden Bears. I think that's more why he's out of the lineup, and not because that they're like, look, I'll say it's 50-50 that they run this play with O'Donnell out there.
That's fine. They won't run it with O'Donnell. I think O'Donnell is a stopgap should somebody get injured. I think he's too new to this playbook. But I'll tell you one thing about Carter O'Donnell. He immediately comes in and is the best offensive lineman that the Elks have.
You think?
It's not even close. He is a bad, bad man. He plays offensive lineman the way that he was taught from one of the best to ever do it in Chris Morris, which is with anger and purpose. And I cannot wait for Carter O'Donnell to draw into the lineup.
It'll be interesting how they draw him in.
Well, you might see him come in.
But I'm looking to 26. Let's just jump.
Sure.
I'm looking right now. If I had to make a guess, I feel like Boyko moves to right guard, O'Donnell moves to right tackle, McKellar's out.
Yes, that would be the progression. But don't count
O'Donnell goes to right tackle.
O'Donnell, when he was in Arizona most recently,
I think as a guard,
and he was down in Indianapolis, he was playing as a guard. Now in the CFL,
well, that's still McKellar out.
In the CFL, he's got the size to play tackle, but he's capable of playing inside. I don't know about Brett Boyko. I don't know if Brett Boyko could easily move into the guard position. So that'll be interesting to see, because Carter O'Donnell will be starting on this O-line next week. Mark my word.
You think?
Yes, 100%. He is not a backup.
2025. I should figure this out. Martez Ivy's 30. Carter O'Donnell's 27. Well, he'll be 27 in December. How old's Boyko? Where is he on this list? He's 92. So he's actually quite a bit older. Brett Boyko. I shouldn't have to do this, but I just want to make sure. He's 33. I think long term, he's replacing Brett Boyko.
Sure, he could.
I'm just thinking for age-wise.
I mean, he's listed behind him on the depth chart.
Yeah. It's 3 University of Alberta Golden Bears on that O-line possibly. Well, coming soon. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I still think it's 50-50 that we might play. While we're talking about mistakes, though, I just want to quickly point something out, because we're saying bad teams, it's just harder to overcome. Well, not bad, like lower. When you're not one of the best, it's harder to overcome them, but the good teams can overcome them. We were just talking about how the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Alfred made a mistake. They were at the 1. The very next play, it was a 48-yard pass completed by Trevor Harris. They got out of it. They just kicked the field goal. Like, that's what good teams can do. Good teams can overcome their mistakes. The Edmonton Elks not in that position yet. They're not in that position. Like, if the Edmonton Elks right now make that mistake and they're at the 1, like, you sometimes think like, well, okay, get ready for the punt or something. Maybe they'll get a couple first downs or something. That's what good teams do when they make mistakes. They can overcome it. So for the Edmonton Elks, it's going to be a question of how do you try your best to eliminate those mistakes? And the other part to this, too, is like Calgary and the good teams aren't immune to mistakes, as I just pointed out with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. If you force a mistake, you have to make them pay for it.
Yes.
If you get a fumble recovery, if you get an interception, that can't just be, okay, well, we punted, but we stopped them on that one drive. It's got to be points.
Capitalize.
Like, it's those type of things. You need to capitalize and make them pay if you force that mistake too. They don't have to make you pay necessarily. The Calgary, like, I don't know what the Calgary Stampeders did after that. They didn't do anything after the fumble. They didn't get any points on that one in last week against Edmonton. But they're good enough that it doesn't matter to them. For the Elks, like, if roles are reversed, you need to get points because that's where you are.
Well, look at the game last week. We didn't realize it at the time. We knew that it was a big mistake, but that fumble, early in the second quarter when they were driving, then the sequence of events that happened after that ultimately called it game, set, match, over. So Edmonton needs to take care of it. Be as close to mistake-free, and for goodness sake, force a fumble.
Do
something? Force an interception. They have 2 interceptions on the year.
Yeah, do they have any?
I don't think that they've recovered, Matty.
I don't think for a fumble defensively. They've done it special teams against Winnipeg. I'm just looking to see if I find any.
That's right. They did.
But that was special teams. It's not offense, right?
Defense.
So, right, sorry. Forced fumbles, the Elks forced 4.
How many did they recover?
Recovered. Oh, no, that's the team recovered. What is it? Sometimes the CFL stats are so difficult to make. Fumbles made, fumbles lost. No. Opposing fumbles. No. Why? See, the CFL sometimes just makes things so difficult.
Sometimes.
I know, like they have a great stats package, but things are all over the place, and I'm just trying to figure out how many fumbles that they have. Okay, well, so they have forced 4 times the ball being on the turf. It says the Elks recovered 4 of them, but I think those are their own. The Elks have not. Maybe it's 4 for 4, but those are all defensive. Those are all special teams then, or something. I don't recall a defensive fumble that they have recovered this season, which is sad.
I don't either.
And I'm just trying to remember when the second interception was.
Terrell Ford.
Ford was the first.
Ceresna's.
Oh, that's right. That's why I forgot about that, because that was the first one.
Because it was a D line.
Yeah, that's what it right away
wasn't really glorious or glamorous, I should say.
That's very disappointing.
What do you think of this? I'm sorry. This just popped in my head because I was thinking about it this morning, and I don't mean to stop this conversation, but Calgary switched things up in the second half last week on defense.
Yeah.
They started rushing 3 and spying Fajardo.
Yeah.
They were bringing in a 4th blitzer from time to time. But they were able to get home, and Edmonton wasn't in a position to run the ball that, I guess, intentionally at that time. They needed to push the ball downfield by passing it. Mm-hmm. Do you think, and when I came in here today, I said, man, if they do that again, if they come out in that same package, or at least maybe switch to it early, I think if Edmonton can commit to an actual running game, not this where they're displaying it and telegraphing it by bringing in a 6th alignment, if they can actually move the ball, Justin Rankin could take serious advantage of that.
Do you have any faith that's what will happen? Based on everything that you've but do you have faith it will? Based on everything you've seen this season.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on in the game. It depends what's happening. It depends. I mean, if Edmonton can come out, and this is the same as I said last week, if they can come out and establish any sort of an offense, get points early, that puts a little bit of doubt in the minds of the Stampeders. Then, if you can get the running game going, that's when things can really start to turn and snowball against Calgary in favor of Edmonton.
Flip side, though, is if you do you start finding that way to beat the Stampeders defense, I trust Bob Slowick and that Stamps defense to go in at halftime,
yes,
and adjust.
Well,
and go to do something else like they did last week.
Then Jordan McSimic needs to answer the bell and be better today. He has adjusted successfully in the past.
He has, but more often than not, he hasn't this season.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Shame.
Maybe it's recency that you just need to be like, oh, right, I can adjust too.
Well, think of the third quarter stats of points.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And that, I think, points just outright the difference. Like, the opposing teams that the Elks have faced have made adjustments going in, starting their second halves. They have scored points in the third quarter. The Elks haven't made enough adjustments going into the second half. They have struggled to score points.
Man, you're just bringing it today.
We both are.
Wow.
These arrows.
You must have had a good sleep.
The arrow minis. Actually did. Thank you for asking.
Me too.
By the way, I'm wondering, I'll have to find out. I don't know who to ask on this one. I'd love to know what's the least amount of interceptions a defense had all year. 2's bad at this point of the season. Next closest is 8. BC coming into this weekend. I don't know if they had any interceptions yesterday, but that was this next closest is 8. The Elks have 2, and 1 comes from your defensive lineman. Third story of this game, it's the Elks. It's the Stamps coming up at Commonwealth Stadium. Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. This is the Green Gold Kickoff Show. Iwanyk and Jay Milne with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. It is the playoff race. When it comes to the West, or the East, I should say, not the best result in one sense, with Ottawa gaining some points. But when you look at the West side, that was East side, West side, the BC Lions were up 27-10. I shut that game off yesterday. Mm-hmm. I went to the National Football League. Mm-hmm. I got a text alert saying close game alert. And all of a sudden I'm going, what the hell is happening out there? The BC Lions lose. After 12 games played this season, they are 5-7. They are 2 points up on the Edmonton Elks, who have a game in hand, which they will take advantage of tonight. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are 6-5. They are at 12 points. They are currently taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders out in Winnipeg. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have an 18-13 lead with 5 minutes and 27 seconds left. Let's do a hypothetical here. While there's still lots of football to be played still in that game, let's say Bombers lose.
Yeah.
If you're the Edmonton Elks, you are effectively a game and a half back of the BC Lions. You are 2.5 back of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You win tonight, you're a half game back of the BC Lions.
Well, they would end up with the same record.
Which is why I put the half game back.
Okay,
Is the tiebreaker.
tiebreaker.
So you're a half game back. You're a point away. You need a tie or a win, different. With the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you're a game and a half back. Who cares about the crossover at that point?
That's true.
We don't have to worry about the West East anymore at that point. They're both in sight because for the Elks, and there's a case to be made, like, because there was a question from, and I know you responded, we'll get to it, from, I think it was Deacon St. John.
St. John, yeah.
If the Elks lose, do you think the season then is over? Depending what happens in the Saskatchewan game, I'm not ready to declare it over if they lose today. It doesn't give me hope that this team, if they lose today, still hasn't been a Western opponent. That doesn't give me hope. And they have a lot of that left. But you still have Winnipeg, you still have BC. You're not winning the season series against either of those, most likely. They've lost it to the BC Lions, but to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who just
threw an interception.
Who just threw an interception with 2:23 to go. You have a game and you have to win by a certain margin to win the
Did you mention that Collaros left this game with an injury and Strevler's in?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So their offense has went since Collaro left. Strevler's not a full-time quarterback.
He is not.
He's not. So seeing that, and I've had concerns about Zach Collaros' health all year. He's not getting any younger.
No.
He's taken headshots. This appeared to be a shoulder injury. Not good. So, yeah, that's why this game is so much more important today. If somehow this team, who is severely depleted, riddled with injuries, going against what a lot of people perceive to be the best team in the CFL, but that's why you play the game. If Edmonton can somehow pull out this victory, it is massive in terms of the playoff race in the West Division.
Yeah, if they get the win, they're a smidge away from controlling their own destiny. Because they play BC. If you beat BC, you're ahead of BC after this week. Like, if you do the exact same the rest of the way, but you beat BC, you're ahead of BC at that point. So you finish fourth, which then the crossover may come into play here. And when it comes to Winnipeg, you play them once, which means you might be a half game back if you go beat them. So, like, even if the Elks happen to lose today, though, it's still there. That's the wild.
Crazy.
It is still there. And now, like, if you're telling me that Collaros is hurt again, the amount of times this season we've said that, you can't believe that he's going to stay healthy the rest of the season. Like, and depending on this injury, he might not be there. And if Chris Strevler's there, I don't have any faith in the Winnipeg
Zero.
Bombers. They might want to trade for Trey Ford. I'd rather have him than Chris Strevler to a degree. And then that might be like, they're going to be, that's how they got Collaros, was they traded for an injured quarterback. I don't know if there's another injured quarterback out there or a backup quarterback out there that they're going to want to be interested in, or their season might be kind of just done. And the BC Lions don't look good. They can't stop anyone on defense.
Crazy. It's just crazy to think that
a win goes a long way to playoff.
4-7 Elks team is in the mix still, as they they're about to start their 12th game of the season.
I will say this, based on what's happening today, I thought 9 wins would be playoffs. I'm going to bring it down to, I think, 8. I think 8 wins might be good enough to get you to the playoffs.
It could.
It really could,
because Saskatchewan and Calgary are running away with it.
They're running away with it.
The problem is the team that Edmonton's playing today is one of the teams running away with it.
Absolutely.
Who, by the way, is 6-0 in the Western Division this year.
Hey, means they're due.
I like your attitude.
Means they're due. Could mean that they're due. And BC blew it. Like, this was a big opportunity for BC this week, because Winnipeg was taking on Saskatchewan, Edmonton taking on Calgary. You're taking on Ottawa. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Ottawa. BC should be like, we're taking on Ottawa. And you had a 27-10 lead, and you blew it. And you want to know something? I'll throw those, like, even just from crossover perspective, there's Toronto, there's Ottawa, both at 8. Montreal's reeling. And they're at 10. They've lost 5 straight. They're only at 10 points. There's a lot of different scenarios that are popping up for the Edmonton Elks to possibly make the playoffs. So, if if the Elks find a way to also beat the Calgary Stampeders, like we talked about that first win after Fajardo, like how it could set teams off. We saw it last year when Trey Ford came in against Saskatchewan and how it set the Elks off.
Yep.
Imagine a win, not just a win, it's a win against the Stampeders. How
massive.
much that gets you going, where then you get Toronto, which you're on par with Toronto, if not a little bit better. You then get Hamilton, who I'm sorry, I'm not sold on Hamilton yet this season. You're on par with them. There's winnable games after this again.
Absolutely.
Right away.
Yes.
Imagine a 3-game win streak. Actually, it wouldn't be a 3-game win streak. It would be
4 or 5.
Go longer. It'd be 6 of 7.
Pretty good.
If you could go like this win I think if they win this, they could set them off.
Are you changing your tune on tonight's game based on what's happened this weekend?
I still, because here's the thing.
You're a wise man, Matthew.
The Calgary Stampeders, and this is why I also brought up 15.5. The average margin of victory that the Stampeders have this year when they win is 15 points.
Well,
when they win, they win big.
By the way, what he's referring to is the Matt and Jay's Big Play, which is over at playalberta.ca. Click on sports, click on EST specials, and you will see it right there. The way it goes is Elks plus 15.5 points and 43 plus total points to be scored. That is minus 111. That is a nice one, Matty. I must say, you cooked that up quite
I was surprised on the number.
You thought it would be worse.
Yeah, lower value, not as good value.
Oh, that's our friends over at Play Alberta.
And then they I text you. I said I think they'll come in at like minus 30 or minus 125, minus 130. I thought I was like that's not bad. And then when I saw minus 111, I'm like yes, let's go, let's do this. He's Jay Milne. I'm Iwanyk. That was your 3 stories of this game as the Elks will battle the Stampeders. In a few minutes' time, we will go full college game day with you and have our guest celebrity pickers when it comes to predicting Elks and Stampeders. We've got 3 celebrity guest pickers. It's going to be something else here on the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. We've got to get to our keys to an Elks victory as well as Jay's prediction as well on that. But first, let's hear from the starting quarterback of your Edmonton Elks, Cody Fajardo, speaking with the media earlier this week.
How are you feeling after, it was a tough physical game in Calgary? How are you feeling with such little time to recuperate?
Yeah, quick turnaround, but I got experience in these short weeks. The body's feeling good, ready to roll tomorrow. It's going to be another physical game, and we got to come in prepared to protect our house. They're going to come in here with a lot of juice and a lot of energy, and I felt like we just didn't match their physicality last week, and that's something that we've stressed going into this week is try to match the physicality and play just cleaner football on offense and not shoot ourselves in the foot. They got a really good defense, and so anytime we give them an extra break here or there because of our own miscues, it just makes it a little bit easier on them.
Is that just it? You were kind of running around a lot there, and you took a few whacks. You just got to clean that up this week?
Yeah. I think I could get the ball out of my hand a little bit quicker. They played. They switched their defense up from what we were used to seeing on tape. So there were some X's and O's things that just kind of caught me by surprise that I held on the ball a little bit longer. So with this week, and there's always going to be a wrinkle. There's going to be a wrinkle in this game. So we're going to have to get on the sideline, talk through it, and I think I can help the guys up front by getting the ball out of my hand. I got to be way more accurate than what I was. I completed somewhere around 62%, which is not up to my standards. So I got to find the way to get the ball into our playmakers' hands and let them do the work and let them get hit.
Yeah. As far as the game and the meaning in the standings, very important game right now at this stage of the season for the Elks.
Without a doubt. What we did to ourselves at the beginning of the year kind of put ourselves in a tough situation. So every game's going to be meaningful. Every game's going to have that playoff mentality because we have to win to keep pace in the standings. So I'm just excited for this opportunity. It's not very often in pro sports where you get to play the same team that you just lost to back-to-back other than baseball. So I think we're really excited about that opportunity to kind of wash that bad taste out of our mouth.
I was going to say, is that good? Because you know what you did, and you can say, I want one more shot at them, give me another crack at them, and let me get it at them right now.
Yeah, sometimes in pro football, it's like, you won't see them for another 6-7 weeks, and then you forget all about it by the time the game comes around. But when it's that fresh in your mind, and it just happened to you at their place, and now you have the opportunity to host them at your place, I just hope we have a great crowd that makes it very tough on them and tough on their offense to communicate like their crowd did to us, and then let the pads play and see what happens come down to the fourth quarter.
How do you feel when you hear that crowd? Does that drive you guys a little bit more? What does it mean to be home?
Yeah, honestly, it's something that we're excited about. We're excited about the fans showing up, and it's a huge advantage. I've been a part of a lot of teams that have great turnouts, and it's just such a big advantage for our defense. When it's, as an offensive player, I know how hard it is to communicate when it's loud. My family will be at this game, so this will be their first game that they'll be up to this year, which it will make me super excited to be playing this game and a little bit more calm looking up in the stands and seeing them there. And so I'm excited to go out there and just get back to playing my standard of football. And that's what I told the offense. We got to get back to playing our standard of football. And at the end of the day, as doom and gloom as everybody wants to make it feel for this last week, we're a 3-1 football team in the last 4 games. So this team is a good football team. We just didn't play our best on a big stage. So we have an opportunity to right our wrongs going into this one.
There's Cody Fajardo, the starting quarterback for your Edmonton Elks as they get set to take on the Calgary Stampeders down at Commonwealth Stadium. What will be the biggest crowd at Commonwealth Stadium this season as well, as the attendances were looking really good. They released those tickets in the north end zone. We're looking at, if I had to make I'll make a prediction on that one later because I never do predictions.
Ooh, this is a rarity.
I'm going to do an attendance prediction.
Okay.
Let's do it. But now it's the College Game Day version. We got to do our predictions with celebrity guest pickers here in the studio. Round of clicks. Jay, would you like to introduce your daughters?
Yes. So we've got Grace, Rose, and Faith. The 3 Milne girls came into work with Daddy today. They're having fun. Maddie set them up with a movie. I just want to have some predictions. So we'll start from that side. Rose, speak into the mic. What do you think is going to happen in the game tonight?
I feel like it's going to be a close game, but I feel like Calgary's still going to win.
Do you have a score?
Maybe like 20 to like 26.
Okay. 26-20 for Calgary. I'm writing that down. Grace, what do you got for a prediction?
I think that Fajardo, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Fajardo.
Throw 280 passing yards.
Whoa, yes.
And Justin Rankin is going to get 2 touchdowns.
Oh, my. I like that. Going for the props.
Winner, score?
30-25.
For Edmonton. All right. 30 to 25.
If Cody Fajardo's going 280 and Rankin's got 2 touchdowns.
Yes. Faith, why don't you speak into here?
25.
Who do you think is going to win, honey?
The Elks.
The Elks? Do you think it's going to be close?
Yeah.
How close? What's the score?
28-30.
Oh, wow. These are great ones.
These would be fun.
30 to
games.
28 for the Elks. Girls, thank you for coming in.
Well done.
You can go off.
How has it been being at the office today?
Oh, yeah. You having fun?
Really fun, yeah.
Yeah? What movie are you watching?
Luck.
Luck. Okay. Well, we're about to watch football. The girls
Maybe the movie Luck is going to give the Elks luck today.
Well, maybe it is. The girls have, I think, what have we decided on? Chinese? We're going to do Chinese. They love their chow mein. They love their rice. Milne girls, thank you for coming in.
Well done. Guest pickers. The only thing missing is the helmets or the mascot heads. Lee Corso, the last one last week.
Yes,
very
that's right.
disappointing. Okay, we're doing this kind of in reverse. So, well, I'll get to your prediction right away, Jay. But your key to an Elks victory.
Well, I've got several. If I had to pick one, O-line/running game needs to be better.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to hitch my wagon to. I won't take yours. Jeez. We got an army
You guys
crawl
can
here.
just walk by if you want.
You can just go through. It's okay,
You
Grace.
guys are already in the screen, so...
Nice army call, though, Grace. I won't take yours, but I have others. So you go first.
Well, they could have also walked all the way around that way. Multiple options.
She's dedicated.
My one that I am going to go with is you have to force mistakes by the Calgary Stampeders. You have to force some sort of mistake. You got to get, and that ultimately is like, you got to get a turnover. You got to get a fumble of some sort.
I like it.
I do have one more, but I'll go back to
Oh,
you
we're
for
going to go
another.
back to back?
Yeah.
Win the turnover battle.
Okay. And the other, for me, I had it last week, but I'm altering it to just one facet: special teams touchdown.
Ooh.
I said
like
a touchdown from defense or special teams are going to be necessary for an Elks win last week. Well, it happened in reverse.
Sure.
I think they need one of those, especially with this hurt defense.
Yep.
Helping that. The offense is going to need to score points, helping them out by scoring some sort of point for them, or putting them even at the very least like in great field position where they could just plop a quick throw into the end zone 20 yards.
Yes.
Boom. That's going to help the Edmonton Elks win this. Rams guy, Rob, Glue guy seems like a great dad.
Oh, thank
really
you.
is. Penner's Pancakes, beautiful family, Jay.
Thank you all. That's
Steve,
really
a W
kind.
for the kids. Spency 5 centsy. Smart kids. Boom.
I can't imagine how nervous they were.
They looked nervous.
They did
Faith
great.
looked very nervous too,
Yeah.
but they crushed it. They
They're
were
so
fantastic.
sweet. I just love spending time with them. They were so excited all day. Well, I told them last night that this was probably going to happen. They were just over the moon all day. They were excited. Dad, when do we got to go? When do we got to leave?
You beat me here today.
I did. Well, they wanted to come in early. And that was even with a stop at Dollar Tree to get you some treats.
Arrow Mini.
Arrow Minis.
I ate some during the Cody Fajardo interview. Your prediction?
35-28 Elks. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a shootout. Now, that is, if these keys to the game come through. Look, Matt, I've been bullish on this team coming together. They have answered the bell, but it's time to step up. It's time to man up. It's time to beat the best so that you can actually get yourself in the conversation for a playoff position.
By the way, Saskatchewan Roughriders swept the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Good for Elks.
27,619 will be the announced attendance at Commonwealth Stadium.
27,619.
That is my prediction for this game. We're going to have 27,619 people will be the announced attendance between the Elks and the Stamps, which will be the biggest crowd for the Edmonton Elks this season. We are 8 minutes away-ish till kickoff down at Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. Edmonton Elks, Calgary Stampeders. It is the Labor Day rematch. Nothing like the Labor Day rematch. The TSN panel is here for the Labor Day rematch. It is Super Saturday for the CFL on TSN. That's all coming up. A reminder, once the game ends, you know where to come, right here. Whether it's across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams, whether it's on YouTube, we will be here with the Green and Gold post-game show breaking down all the action. Win or lose for the Edmonton Elks, we will be here breaking it down. On behalf of Grace, Faith, Rose, Jay, Matt.
Well done.
All 5 of us. Thanks for tuning into the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Enjoy the football game this
April's
evening.
coming too. She's at a golf tournament. That's why she couldn't be home with the girls.
Tournament.
Yeah, she's at the Pandas alumni golf tournament.
I just saw a tournament. So
she's coming by after. You're going to be surrounded by Milne women.
Perfect. Where's which course?
Colonial. Beaumont.
Never golfed there. I've never golfed there.
It is beautiful. I love
I've heard very good things about that one. That's Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Enjoy the football game. Jay and I will talk to you once it's over.